Hello friends, when we think about forest we really think that there will be animals, birds and different kinds of trees. But apart from these, there are things that exist in the forest that you will be surprised to know. So let's take a look. Boeing 737 within the jungle. Guy finds aircraft hidden in jungle, but when he looks inside it's now not uncommon to peer planes at airports. A random plane has been casually placing out on Bukit Peninsula's southern coast in Bali for the reason that 2007 and is a stone's throw from the Nurai International Airport. Perhaps even greater atypical approximately, seeing a huge aircraft surrounded through bushes is knowing that no locals realize the way it were given there. The plane is on private land, which means that you need to pay a price to look at. Rumor has it that someone purchased the aircraft, which does not have any branding to reveal which airline it would have been from to turn it right into a restaurant for vacationers. But some people speculate that they ran out of cash and left the aircraft with some shipping bins and a shabby hut surrounding it to rot away. The Magic Mountain Hotel in Chile. If you were lost inside the 300,000-acre Huilo Biological Reserve in Chile, you would possibly just stumble across the Magic Mountain Hotel. The call may be very fitting for this motel, considering the fact that it'll be not like something you have ever seen before, mainly not in a forest. You're in for an actual deal with while you arrive at the Magic Mountain Hotel. Alongside having a pricey room to name yours beginning from $220 in keeping with night, you may also be able to experience the rainforest, lagoons, hot springs, lakes and mountains. Retreat to the Magic Mountain Hotel for a sauna, a dip within the heated pool, or a chilled soak in the spa or hot bath. Lost City in Cambodian Jungle. According to findings within the Journal of Archaeological Science, the generation archaeologists used allowed them to identify towns dating return 900 to 1400 years below the tropical forest ground. Some had been as huge as the capital of Cambodia, Phnom. When it changed into around back inside the 12th century, they basically found a roadmap for an entire town. That's wild when all you can see above floor are bushes and flora. Experts do not assume tourists will be flocking to peer what's basically simply lumps and bumps inside the earth. However, there may be ability for them to excavate components of those interesting towns in the future. SIGURIA in Sri Lanka. Who might have notion that a rock formation might be called the eighth wonder of the world, but SIGURIA, additionally known as Lion's Rock in Sri Lanka, is not any ordinary rock. It is a monolithic rock formation essential to Sri Lanka's historical history. Poems inscribed on components of the rocks date lower back to the 6th century and are believed to be some of the oldest examples of written similes. As archaeologists began running on it, they learned that there has been once a sculpted lion's head above the legs and paws, and the face of the hill could were a sizable portrait gallery, with artwork protecting maximum of the western face. El Mirador in Guatemala. A distinctive investigation started within the past due 70s. With emphasis located on mapping botto swamps and excavation of structure and the site middle, it's believed that the lost city of El Mirador became at its peak from the 6th century BCE to the primary century C, and it can had been at its peak of fulfillment within the 1/3 century BCE. However, it seems to have skilled a production hiatus, followed by using feasible abandonment for generations before reoccupation within the overdue classic technology. It became then completely deserted by way of the 9th century. So some distance archaeologists have determined a domain spanning 10 square meter with heaps of structures and huge structure up to 236 feet excessive. The soil became loose and easy to transport through water, and water might handiest float downhill to swamps. The nutrient-wealthy soil became buried underneath sterile clay and farmers could not refill their crop fields. COAXIE in South America. COAXIE is the phrase used to describe ape-like creatures that people have supposedly seen in jungles in South America. Some humans agree with they might be an undiscovered tribe, whilst others suppose they're cryptids, which might be non-proven animals like Sasquatch or the Loch Ness Monster, in keeping with British explorer Colonel Percival Fawcett, who claimed to have encountered a set of them in 1914. At the same time as mapping South American jungles, they were hairy, used bows and arrows, and lived in villages. They also used grunting to talk, and lived northeast of the Maxubi tribe. Percival said they have been adverse toward him and his men and attempted to assault them. Percival and his men disappeared, even as on a day trip to find out a misplaced city. Rock formations in Thailand. If you are ever on excursion in Thailand, Many locals endorse traveling the BOEING province in northwest Thailand, separated from Laos by way of the Mekong River. But you will additionally get to Pier Hin Sam Wan, also known as the Three Whale Rock. And what a standout enchantment, it's miles within the Phai Sang National Park. That is already widely recognized for its many caves, bamboo forests, waterfalls, and hot springs. The Three Whale Rock is a rock formation fashioned about 75 million years in the past that looks as if adult whales and a toddler whale. Stone spheres in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is well known for its lovely seashores and tropical rainforests. They are stone balls courting return to the Cherry Key duration between 8800 and 1500. They discovered in super plot of land within the Diquís Valley, near the Pacific Ocean in Costa Rica's west. Employees began clearing the jungle and observed weird stone spheres, measuring from only a few inches in diameter to as huge as 7 feet, and weighing up to 16 tons. Some human beings notion extraterrestrial beings delivered them to Earth, at the same time as others notion they may have links to Atlantis, the lost continent. The measurements showed that the stones had been close to best spheres and were most in all likelihood handmade by means of the historical humans of Diquís Valley. The boiling river in the Amazon. Do you love a hot steaming bathtub? Then look at this. The boiling river in Amazon is perhaps now not a place you'll take a dip. It's an Amazon River tributary known as the Sine Tempishka or La Bamba, and is described because the only recognized boiling river in the world. Shamans on this community think the water is boiling as it became birthed with the aid of Yakumama, a big serpent spirit known as the mother of the waters. A humpback whale in the Amazon. All the Amazon rainforest is million square meter, but out of all creatures you expect to find, a humpback whale might be next to last for your listing. However, a 36-foot lengthy humpback whale is exactly what incorporation working on Morajo Island found mere toes from the Amazon River's mouth in February 2019. According to Natural World professionals, the humpback whale turned into a pup no extra than a year antique, and it honestly changed into in a strange place. They suppose it become already dead and washed ashore at some point of high tides, handiest to return to a rest inside the mangroves within the particular location. But a humpback whale in the Amazon isn't even the only unusual factor. Experts also are pressured approximately what the whale become doing on Brazil's north coast. Zombie fungus in Asia. When ants specifically come into contact with the cordyceps spores, they may be straight away underneath their manage. Somehow the spores infect the insects and manipulate what the ants do. Eventually, they die, and the fungus sprouts from the now deceased ants' heads. Eventually, a protracted stem will shape over a duration of weeks until greater spores will burst out, fall to the ground, and be picked up by means of different ants. If they understand another ant has been inflamed, they take it out of the colony and unload it somewhere else to save it from infecting other ants. So that's for today. See you in the next time. For now, goodbye.